There once was a Merc that went to war. The name of the mech was a Handler 4. Ships dropped down, contracts went up. Brawl those Clanamex brawl. Soon may the Clanamex come to bring us battle contracts and funds. One day when the fighting is done, we'll take our creds and go. She had not moved 2 clicks or more when down on her a madcap boy. Clanner called but Shaw and swore he'd take bondsmen in tow. Soon may the Clanamex come to bring us battle contracts and funds. One day when the fighting is done, we'll take our creds and go. Before the Merc had hit the throttle, an elemental cramped up and caught her. Climbed the sad ground, pulled and fought her till she burned him off. Soon may the Clanamex come to bring us battle contracts and funds. One day when the fighting is done, we'll take our creds and go. No shot was held, missiles were freed. The Clanner's mind was a knot of green. As he belonged to the warrior's queen, he'd take a bondsman home. Soon may the Clanamex come to bring us battle contracts and funds. One day when the fighting is done, we'll take our creds and go. Solo! Soon may the Clanamex come to bring us battle contracts and funds. One day when the fighting is done, we'll take our creds and go. For 40 days or even more, the Mercs went back and forth once more. All mechs were lost, there were only 4, but still that Merc didn't go. Soon may the Clanamex come to bring us battle contracts and funds. One day when the fighting is done, we'll take our creds and go. Soon may the Clanamex come to bring us battle contracts and funds. One day when the fighting is done, we'll take our creds and go. Soon may the Clanamex come to bring us battle contracts and funds. One day when the fighting is done, we'll take our creds and go. As far as I've heard, but you're all still on. The pay's not cut and the clan's not gone. The Clanner Lance makes his regular call to patrol the Merc's last man. Soon may the Clanamex come to bring us battle contracts and funds. One day when the fighting is done, we'll take our creds and go. Soon may the Clanamex come to bring us battle contracts and funds. One day when the fighting is done, we'll take our creds and go. I love to go a-blundering while leading our attack. As I do, I love to sing while driving my hunchback. I love to fight in city squares, throwing all I see. And when the enemy appears, how happy I will be. Kills for me, loot for all, kills for me. Combat salvage kills for me. Loot for all, please come find my hunchback. When 100-tonners threaten me and try to strike me down, they soon find I will not flee. Eat auto cannon rounds. Kills for me, loot for all, kills for me. Think about the combat salvage, kills for me, loot for all. Please come find my hunchback. I fought my share of enemies and never once in fear. The auto cannon speaks for me, and then they disappear. So bring your best mechs down to me, your pilots I will burn. And when you run away from here, here's hoping you will learn. Kills for me, loot for all, kills for me. Think of for me and for all. Please come by my hunchback. The hunchback is a doctrine choice, and if you think that's wrong, then why is it you're listening to our own marching song? 'Cause for me, for all, 'cause for me, think of all the colored salvage. 'Cause for me, for all, please come by my hunchback.
Hey there, ladies and germs. Welcome back to WBPL 76, legally defined as entertainment, or today, education.
The hills are alive with the sound of...
Exactly. We are back with some more Storm Song Teaches You music and stuff. I'm trying to remember who, but last week one of our chat requested I go over FL Studio. So today, we do exactly that. And of course, if you're not here for the beginning of the stream, you can, watch the VOD later. But I'm going to assume that they'll be here, whoever it was, for I cannot remember. Okay.
I saw that Ralphie was very interested in up-to-date what you're talking about. I kind of wonder if maybe you should, invite him.
I would be glad to. That kind of surprised me, because I didn't know Ralphie was a musically inclined person, but if he is, then all the more.
Yeah.
Because really, my thing is, everyone should art, somehow or other. And for me, that's music. Writing as well, but music primarily. Drawing as well, but music primarily. So, hey there, Mercury. Hey, Silicone. Hey, Troa. You don't streak like me by watching the VOD later. Lol. Okay, so first to start with using FL Studio, let's start from the very beginning. You need to be born. Okay, now you're born. Now you need money. Depending on which edition you want, FL Studio is anywhere between $100 for just the standard edition to the producer edition, which is about just short of $200, to the fucking everything edition, which is $450. I have the fucking everything edition, parentheses all plugins edition, because I'm an actual studio producer. That's useful to me. I think most of you could probably get away with either the fruity or producer editions. But that's just if somehow it's worth it to you to buy it. There's also free demo version to try it out. I would always advise trying the demo version first before you make any such purchases. And there are cheaper programs like Reaper for those of you what are kind of new to this and not sure you even want to spend money. But a lot of the same rules will apply, so we're going to kind of start from there. You're able to see the stream, Andy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. So, once you've opened it, you have quite the display of things here. We're just going to start a new project like I always do. So, new from template. I often use... There are different templates here. Some of them for different, kinds of music. I'm going to just go with my typical minimal empty with 4 sends template. And that's just going to leave us an empty sampler. And the reason I use that is there are what are called send buses or bus tracks. And we're going to be making use of those in a bit. I'll explain those when we get there. But fundamentally, what FL Studio is it is for producing, which is to say composing, mixing, mastering, and finalizing songs, usually of the electronic variety. I use it because a lot of what I do is a mix of electronic, metal, and symphonic, as we heard with kind of the Lady Red and Halzakar stuff I've done. So we're going to start with the basics. We're going to make a drum beat. Hit me, Andy. What kind of music?
Oh, let's see. We did aquatic.
I think we can do.
I was gonna say like snowscape, but that's kind of similar to aquatic.
Well, we can do that. Since I'm going to start with a drum beat, choose a genre, and then we'll make it snowy.
Well, something like charming and like light, like the opening of a storybook or something like that.
Okay. So you know what? We'll go with a kind of a light jazz sort of kit.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Then we'll build up the music around it. But yeah, so once you have your instrument picked, and in this case, I'm gonna show you guys the difference between when you pull in a kit and when you pull in, say, like a piano. We're just gonna use the piano for compositional purposes. When you pull in a kit, you're gonna go to the piano roll, and you're going to see a bunch of options here. So those are the different instrumentations, and you start arranging accordingly. Now, because I was working in triplicate form for the stuff I've been doing for Goat and Tex lately, we're already actually in the ideal thing. So I'll just show you guys a basic drum beat here. Standard drum beat is going to be something like... Now that's a standard rock beat. Now, the way you do jazz typically is with a swing. It's not always a swing, but we're just going broadly speaking here. So you're going to have that same... And we're going to add, say... Okay, so we're going to slow that down because if we're going wintry, we want to be a little more sedate. When I say metallic, I mean like a lot of the metal stuff I do tends to be like Iron Maiden-y. But right now we're doing something a little jazzy here. Now, when you see this, you'll notice down here there are these lines. What those are actually showing us is the attack of the instrument, so... But let's say I lowered the attack on all those. And that's going to determine as if, like, how hard the instrument's hitting. Now, I'm going to show you guys the wrong way to do something so you understand why there is a right way to do it. But next we're going to go to the piano roll. So the piano roll is going to be arranged for the piano. Like you noticed earlier, we had, the drum markers, and you can see them here because it'll show you a grayed out version of your other tracks. But the piano is going to be arranged along, the normal notation there. So you can start with a standard sort of thing there. So the reason I say this is the wrong way to do it is, Andy, can you look at this and tell me if there's something that's going to throw us off? Are you there, Andy?
Yeah, I'm just the harmonic. Not the harmonic, but the what was it you talked about? The the chord progression.
Yeah, so what's going to throw us off is eventually I'm going to be writing. You are sort of on a track there. As I continue adding layers, let's say I make another piano, and I go to write another layer. Well, now you can see that I'm getting both the piano here that I've been writing, but I'm also still getting the drum line in the background. And that drum line is not going to correspond with the notation I'm using for the piano. So over time, those little symbols there can start confusing my sense of what is in key at the moment. So we generally want to do the drums on a different track altogether. But we're going to do it this way today, just for the sake of simplicity. Now, we were talking about something icier. So let us... Icier tends to mean slower. Oh, let's try that. So let's get an ostinato going there. So you'll...
Ostinato, I don't know what that means.
An ostinato is a recurring phrase in music that will become the underbelly of what we're working on. So
You must give example.
Okay, so you know the song War Pigs by Black Sabbath?
Yes.
So you have the dun generals gathered in their masses.
Da da da
Dun
da
dun
da
dun
da
dun.
da da.
Yeah, so that dun dun just like witches at black masses. Dun dun. That would be the ostinato. Let's go with maybe a more Okay, you know what? So let's use a classical piece. Dun 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 dun. That dun 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 dun. That is basically like it's a set combination of rhythm, melody, and chord that's going to be the continuing underbelly of the piece. And it's going to be the repeating part while we start building stuff over it. Actually, let me look up a proper definition, because a lot of times I get used to just what a thing means. And I should actually offer you the proper definition. A continually repeated musical phrase or rhythm. So yeah. Ooh, that was an accident, but I want to keep that.
Accidents in art? Why, I never.
Indeed.
It surely was never talked about by the great master, Bob Ross.
Indeed. We're just gonna have some happy little accidents here.
I'm getting kind of like Underworld. Not Underworld, but like the slums of Midgar, almost, you know?
Well, this is the drum beat that a lot of the, like the Sector 6 slums and like Walltown and such.
Dun, 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 dun. Usually when I think of like snow or something, it usually has like chimes in it, like
Yeah, and that'll be a matter of arrangement. And we'll see that in a moment here. Actually, we have enough of a thing going here that let us begin that arrangement. For what instrument you choose dictates a lot of this.
maybe the piano part should be like on a higher scale.
Mm-hmm. And that might well be the case. Let us find... Where are you?
Now, if I'm like putting too much, you know...
No. You are helping me.
I feel like sometimes I know what makes a good pie and what a good pie tastes like, but I couldn't tell you for the love of God how to make one. That helps. in that. I guess one thing about the difference between ice and aqua is like the bubbliness of it. I know it sounds like ice is a lot sharper than like water music to me, you know?
Yeah. So you're going to hear a lot less sustain, and we're going to have a lot more what's called staccato sounds.
Yeah. The water level music from Donkey Kong Country game. I bet if you like increase the octave, I guess is the term I'm thinking, it would sound a little more icy, you know?
Yes, and in fact, Wacker thought it sounded pretty icy when he heard it the first time.
I think my favorite overworld music in Final Fantasy VII is like the Icy Hills.
Mm-hmm.
I like that bit. Da, 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 da. It gives it kind of a mystery to it, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with that. Now we're going to silence out the piano because we're going to replace it piece by piece. Hey, Wombo Combo! Welcome to WBPL 76, legally defined as entertainment. Here, let me hit you with a few things and I'll answer your question. We are the streaming part of Black Pants Legion, and we are a community hub stream, so we have multiple hosts. I'm Stormsong, one of the musicians of the Legion. With me is my co-host Andy Van. In regards to your question, we here in Stormsong Studios do believe FL Studio to be a good quality DAW, but the best DAW is actually kind of somewhat dependent on what you're trying to do. Yeah, the tune of Theseus, Digiman, excellent. So in the same way that thank you, Willie. In the same way that you might use a ball ping hammer for a kind of job versus a sledgehammer for a kind of job. These aren't used for the same thing, but they're both hammers. FL Studio is going to be the best one, I think, for one of the two best ones for a lot of electronic composition. The other one that comes to mind is Ableton Live. Whereas if I was trying to record, say, like, a band, I would go to Pro Tools instead. But the moment you say, like, MIDI composition, I will flee away from Pro Tools quickly. Personally, I do think FL Studio is the best, but I do know that is a matter of preference on my part. There we go. Let's go with that. going to set this to loop so that it's just playing that over and over again. So what you're saying there, Bully Snake, that film noir vibe is actually is the reason that we kind of earlier were talking about how it feels a little bit like Midgar from Final Fantasy VII, because that very much went for the film noir vibe.
I never thought of it as noir, as more like, I almost want to say thug, but what I mean is like
Gangster.
underworld, like, you know, like, it's the city belly of the city. It's where all the no-good do-gooders hang out, drink beer, and tell each other about their next con job.
Yeah.
Not saying you're wrong. It's like, I really do like how music has a feel to it, you know, like,
Yeah.
and, you know, there's,
And we're gonna start doing some arrangement work here, because that music box is gonna be a little more piercing than anything else.
oh god. I just realized, you sound like the music box from Anastasia.
It's very similar, yeah, so...
You have a very similar, like, key chord. Oh, you have a very similar chord progression. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just,
Yeah. Well, so what that's depending on is it's in minor key, but with a lot of major chords, which kind of gives a somber, sort of familiar, perhaps even homey, yet dark vibe. Dancing bells, painted wings, things I almost remember. Good ear, Andy, yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely in there.
you know, that was one of those movies that I would call maybe a cult classic, or just, what term am I looking for? It's like, it's a really good movie. It's just no one talks about it or thinks about it. It's like,
Yeah, it suffers the I'm a Disney film by someone other than Disney problem.
a guy that does a lot of, like, he creates live action movie scenes in a cartoon animated form, but he does it in like Ralph Frankie, I think.
Yeah.
Live or Peter Lim style. I saw that someone was giving him some credit, and I was like, yeah. You know, sometimes I like having white noise when I sleep, and one of my favorite stuff to put on is like coffee jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I can't stand when the piano notes are too high. It's almost like a jab in the ear, you know? So Anastasia and the Midgar slums mixed together.
You have now described what is probably almost my favorite aesthetic to use in D&D games. Yeah, if you were...
What if
If
what
you were...
if Aerith was the missing princess of the Roman Empire.
Based. So yeah, Wombo, absolutely. When you're looking into DAWs, think about what you're trying to do. Again, with FL Studio, I record a lot of kind of compositionally, a lot of electronic and synthesized music. So if that's what you're looking to do, then look to that. If you're looking more to record, then something like Reaper or Pro Tools might be more your bag. Pro Tools I only advise if you're going full studio, because shit's expensive. Okay, so we're gonna...
Wait a minute. Storm!
What?
So we've had Final French to see recently, right?
Yeah, basically.
Final Tsar Romanovsky. We're not Roman, Russian. Like, Final Russian, well, you know, that period.
Final Tsar?
Yeah, Final Tsar. Like,
Final Tsarist?
Yeah. Every time you do the victory dance, it's just the leg kick.
Yep. But Cossack dancing is part of...
Yeah. Hey, hey, hey.
Basically.
Actually, you know what song I've kind of had stuck in my head recently?
Mhm.
Have you watched Reagan Bass's Jack Frost?
A long time ago.
So the bad guy is Kubla Klaus. And he's, I'm the king of all the Cossacks, but there are no Cossacks around. There's the rub, there's the rub.
Yeah.
There's the rub, there's the rub, dub, 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 rub, dub.
Yeah.
In a weird way, I saw someone post this and I can't unthink it. It's like Bowser and Dr. Robotnik mixed together with a Russian. Or maybe not Russian, but Cossack. I don't know. I don't know what the actual thing with Cossack. Were they a real thing?
Yeah, so Cossack was... I may be wrong on this, but I believe the Cossacks were essentially a slightly different ethnicity than, say, like the... I think it was what separated the Kievans from the Muscovai.
I'll look it up and link it to you so you can watch
Yeah.
later. Idea. That's a good sound.
That's
the drop
Yeah, it's a marimba.
makes you think of a water droplet off an icicle.
Yeah, icicle was kind of the idea here.
You know the song Popcorn?
Mm-hmm.
I always imagine doing an animatic where there's kind of a wobbly train going through,
Mm-hmm.
where the there's like a background of like constantly. That'd be the train kind of like rocking side to like around as if the wheels were uneven.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, in like westerns and movies with a train in it, it has that typical like that underbeat, that you know, chugga 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 chugga, or da 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 da.
Yep. Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
And then we're going to
French
do...
Final Fantasy.
Yeah. And so now that our ostinato's advanced, we're going to do one more round of it and add something unexpected.
I
I am deeply upset by this. This mockery of the French people!
Cloud's Buster Sword is just a really big baguette.
Stereotyping.
It has been sitting out for 2 weeks. It is nice and hard.
It is hard, just like me. Like I am hardened to the world, not...
It is hard, just like my heart, you stupid non-French peasant.
See.
Imagine Zach with like a long nose and a twirly mustache.
God, I hate it.
like Zach with Waluigi's face.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Ramshackle's asking you a question, Swarm.
Hit me, Ramshackle. What's up? We're going to lower the volume on that substantially right off the bat. Oh, hey-oh. 'Twas not a question, just an acknowledgement.
Oh. No, I'm not wrong. You do have a question. You just wanted to make me look wrong. I'm joking.
Greetings, program, says Moist but Crunchy. Okay, so let's listen to that from the top.
Kind of sounds haunting, too.
Yeah. I think Moist but Crunchy has the right up there. I don't know Perfect Dark as well, but I'm thinking like Midgar and Winter.
With in remake, when you're right under the underside of the pillars or the plates,
Yeah.
the giant sun lamps. Can you imagine how hot it probably felt under there?
Oh, yeah. Given that Midgar is in a desert, A, and then B, yeah, that iron plate is probably just heat.
I always felt like it was in a wasteland, but only because it had already sucked up so much of the Mako from the region.
That may well
Like
be the
maybe
case.
100 years ago, it would have been green and lush, but now it's just,
Yeah.
devoid of life.
Yeah.
Well, except for monsters, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we have our thing going, I'm going to show you a little bit of the mixing process. So you've already seen me lower volumes on some things because some of these instruments are just louder. And we're going to take our drum kit and we're going to actually put it into a different set here. Okay, so we're just going to have our bass drum. And we are going to do a Chad move. We are going to use something called Ascend. Now, Andy, when I use something called Ascend, what do you think it's going to be?
Basically something that kind of sends off something like that announces itself or something. Not necessarily announces itself, but maybe announces the next thing or something.
Not quite. So, what Ascend is it'll go to a second track so that this sound is now playing through two different tracks. But why would I want to do that? Because that would only double the volume, and I could just increase the volume if I wanted to do that. What would be the purpose? Time's up.
Wait, what was that?
Oh, I see. You are so if I send something, what it is it's going now to another track, and that means you have two tracks playing the same thing, which is simply going to double the volume. So it has to serve another purpose because I could just increase the volume. Well, that other purpose is to apply effects on one of those tracks, but not the other. So I have a clean version of the track and an affected version. And so, what I'm going to do now is create kind of a broad reverb that all the drums are going to go into.
God, that sounds familiar. Dun 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 dun.
Yep.
I'm sorry if I'm
No?
being picky or pointy or judgy. I hear it.
Ain't no problem with that.
Christmas in Midgar. That's a nice idea. I'm pretty sure it would be something different than it would in their world because, Oh yeah, life did return, like...
Sometimes the drums wander off down the hallway. Yes, Mo, that is exactly what I am doing. Now, that drum pattern gets a smidge repetitive, so we're going to do some alterations to it. Oh, we'll be getting to the kitchen sink here soon, Mercury. So now that we've added some variation, we're just going to duplicate that. Oh, no. Yes, Lady Red and her horsey mischief. It has begun to outdo even mine.
I need to watch that. I'm really upset that I missed both those streams, the Super Chiefs and your stream. But, you know, I gotta wait.
Yeah, such is the way of life.
Unless somebody's willing to pay me to be a louse.
If only. So now we've added another element, which is the hi-hat. And that hi-hat is now going to allow us to give the drum set some spatiality. So here's a question, Andy. If you are looking at a picture and you make an object larger in the picture, usually by making it wider in the picture, what does it do to the perspective?
If you make an object in a picture wider, makes it look, squatter.
Well, there's that. But it also makes it look closer. The larger an object is, the closer it looks, yes?
Oh, yeah, larger. I thought you meant, like, purely wide. Like...
Yeah, sorry. When I said widened, I should just have said enlarged.
Yes.
Well, if you space out objects on the stage... Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, you also have to add, depending on how far close, and this is getting into technicals, but, you have to add, like, I think what's considered atmospheric fading.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's different from what you're going to say. Sorry.
No, it's actually applicable. So part of what I'm doing here is I'm spacing out the drums. If I were to space them out from each other, notice I'm going very thin here. I'm only going a little to the left, a little to the right. That makes the drum set smaller on the stage, which means it's further back. If I were to crank those pan left, pan right, it would make you feel like you're right in the middle of the drum set.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of the game I am playing there. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, hey, it's a Kuzra. No riding crops in here. Now we are applying some compressor just to kind of give the sounds that much boost. Now we're going to give separation to the bigger instruments. Moist but crunchy, that's a difficult thing to answer. A lot of it is just discipline and training. I have the kind of mindset where my brain just thinks in layers like that, in patterns like that. So I'm already kind of predisposed to handling things like that easily. It's just kind of my particular wiring. But a lot of it is simply knowing the music theory and learning to have the ear to separate the objects and remember where they are in place. In a lot of ways, it's like keeping track of, like when you're sketching or something like that, there's your outline layer, then there's your rough sketch layer, then there's your actual line work layer, then there's your base color layer, and then there's your more advanced color layer and your shading layer. It's just something that discipline and time helps you keep track of more and more of it. So really, I hate the answer, but it's just practice. We're going to go back to these. Yeah, so when you're doing actual classical composition, like on sheet music, there usually is a kind of sheet music where, and you're only getting like 6 to 8 measures per page, but it's every instrument in the thing is a different line. So you'll see like line 1 is the contrabass, and then line 2 is the tuba, and then line 3 is the trombone, and then line 4 is the cello, and so forth. And so that way you're keeping track of it as the director. And that stuff can be kind of a nightmare unto itself. Of course, that's coming from me who hates turning pages that rapidly. A director's probably used to it, so again, practice, practice, practice. We're not going to put this with the rest of the reverb, because it's powerful enough on its own, and it's going to get its own. So notice the difference in spatiality that reverb gets it. Then we're going to get to our violin part here. Now, I've shown off how an EQ works here before, but just to kind of review, I am changing up the exact highs and lows of this instrument in order to give it more of presence in the areas I want it to have presence.
Oh, Ramshackle actually asked a question.
Yay! What is it? How much
How
of
much
a
of a
bad
bad idea
idea?
if it were to take?
You first.
How much of a bad idea would take a GM washing machine, 4 industrial fans, steel tubing, and a bunch of forks to make a Shiner's machine gun?
Look, you live your life the way you want. WBPL 76 does not support the creation of super weapons. For legal purposes, I do not encourage that. But I'm not your mother, so I won't tell if you won't. But our drums are still very present, so we're gonna draw them back a little bit. Alright, so I think we have this section done. So now, if you're composing a whole ass song and not just one pattern, because that is just one pattern that we have there, you will go to your playlist, right? And if on this playlist I put a second pattern after the first pattern, it's going to go into that. Now, all I have right now are multiples of the same pattern. If I were to create a second pattern, then it will go into that second pattern. Now I need to construct that second pattern. Let's see here.
You know, it's stupid, but I'm going to ask it anyway for entertainment's sake. It's not doing music, but you know how it's technically illegal to make your own nuclear reactor in a backyard?
Strictly speaking, yes.
It's illegal to make your own fusion reactor.
I believe fusion counts as nuclear, Andy.
What's the one that's like cold fusion or something like that? Or fission? Is it fusion or fission, I'm thinking?
Fusion is the more modern way we do nuclear stuff. Fission is the older way. Fusion...
Oh.
But yeah, as far as I know, that would be just as turbo illegal. Yeah, fission is splitting atoms, whereas fusion is ramming them together. And if you wanted more on that, you could talk to one Ninja Turtle, for he is turtley. Sudden gear change, I know, but if anyone was a fan of Black 7 from back in the day, a reboot is in development. Black 7? What is Black 7, Moist but Crunchy? This is not a thing I know.
Or Blake?
Blake, think like Farscape, and you're a bunch of misfit criminals fighting against the odds. Okay. Now we're going to do something a little experimental here. I am going to go to a resource I have access to, which is a royalty-free sound effects library. And we're going to look up some sound effects. Because I want to add some wind to the background. Ah, there we go. Perfect. It's gonna be a fun little thing to add in. How are you doing over there, Andy?
I'm all right. It sounds good, Storm.
Thank you. Just wanted to make sure that we hadn't lost you to the wiles of your evil internet provider.
It's not Comcast, so you don't have to worry.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty reliable. Though a bit expensive, but that's what you get for having internet out in the ruralness, I like it.
Yeah. So let's put that all together here. So, a lot of times people will use reverb to tie everything together, so I put a very light, thin reverb on the master track. It just adds a sort of sound quality to every one of the instruments that kind of makes them sound like they're in the same room. Then everything is feeding through the same compressor, which is why I kind of went minimal on the compression for the other instruments. So everything's kind of being brought up in volume together. I used an EQ to increase the high ends, which is actually increasing the power of the wind sound quite a bit, so we can actually lower that some. And then the limiter here just keeps it from spiking above the max volume threshold that we want. And then basically we did this as a standard 2-round loop that you would expect in a video game. So this is very much written to be video game music. Oh, thank you for following Gleam Uziki. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going for. I would call this very PlayStation 1 era, so Banjo-Kazooie makes sense.
Yeah.
Nintendo 64 era. So Final Fantasy games, like especially 7 through 9.
Have you noticed that there's been a kind of like a surgence in like the PS1 graphics in some video games?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that era, that late 90s, early 2000s era of game style is becoming popular again. Back before the AAAs. Back before the dark times. Oh, thank you, Lord Noobs. Well, yeah, A, more was left up to the imagination. B, you weren't creating the uncanny valley. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of new games that are beautiful, but there are a lot that just aren't. And of course, that doesn't even account for story writing and game quality and all that. So, I think that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we shall leave that for today.
Oh.
But yeah, that is roughly how you work with FL Studio, and obviously, there's more to it than that, but that is a song basically from beginning to end. Oh yes, and the last step is when you're done, when you save. I've been doing this entire thing without having saved the project. That is fucking suicidal.
Then there's your power just goes out for no reason.
Ah! Okay, so saving. Usually I will go with the date first, so starting with the year 2026, the month January, and the day the 21st. WBPL Project 3. And we're gonna just call this Winter in Midgar version 1. I'm gonna save that. And then that way that's saved. And eventually, if one wants to make it available, they go to Export Wave and you will create the file and all that wonderful jazz. And we'll go over that another day. Because
Hey, Storm Song.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if we had a dedicated sub-server for people to show off their artistic talents in some sort of way so that the rest of us can see it and enjoy it?
This strikes me as possible. We, of course, do have in Discord the auxiliary. And in the auxiliary, we do have... We have an artist's corner. I'm trying to remember our proper name for it, because one of the downshots of our Discord is that we rename everything all the time, and it's hilarious. But we have Art Share in the general area. And then we have the creative writing endeavors and other such things. So you go to the auxiliary, you can come and see all the things where, people share art, share games, share all the things. It's where Andy and I got our start together. I'm very much in there as one of the mods, so if you need help, come looking for a Storm Song. Or any of the other myriad mods in there. Most of the WBPL members are in there as well. And yes, we hope to see from you. Alright, I think that's everything. So... yeah. Thank you for joining me, Andy.
Sure thing, Storm Song.
Yeah. And I will see you all probably on Saturday on Super Chief's stream. Stay tuned for, I believe, Bionic comes up next here. And then later on, I believe Confused? You know what? I'm not going to guess. I have a calendar. I can just tell you guys. Okay, up next is Bionic, and then following that is Aloysius and AK Lone Wolf. So, y'all stay tuned, and we love y'all.